question for everybody in the car.
That's why this is my guy right here.
What
man.
percentage?
This is my guy, dude.
What percentage of what you learned in university or whatever you graduated with are you currently using right now?
I'm currently using.
Let's start with Alex.
Go Gators.
But how useful is it from 1 to 10? Let's say how useful is what you learned, and could you have learned it on your own?
Here's the truth, and I hate to say this. I'm gonna be the first, and I'm crucifying myself here. I use nothing I learned in college. I don't remember anything I learned from college at all.
Has the piece of paper ever helped you?
Truth be told, just having it, I guess, for my first job. But if I'm honest there, even with that, I was a former athlete. And so my first interview, my major job outside of football was pharmaceutical sales, and we talked Gator football the whole time. And it was personality driven. He was like, dude, you're a great guy. I love your personality. I think you can sell. I think you will be great on our team. I mean, yeah, now that I think about it, heck, I'm just being honest on tape here. My GPA was like 2.8, 2.9 maybe. And to be a farm rep, you had to have a 3.0 or better. And the guy was like, we'll waive that because his personality, we like him. He can be a top. And to be honest, went in and crushed it. Top 5 in the country. 5 years almost in a row, you know, and so, yeah, most of the stuff that I know I learned, I can't wait to hear these guys, but most of the stuff that I've learned has come from self-learning, me doing it on my own. That's the stuff that I remember the most. I can't remember finance, I can't remember accounting, I can't remember business management, business law, but I can remember the webinar I took on business law, the webinar I took on finance, or the book I'm reading on financial intelligence. So, to be honest, for my success really has come from self-learning, nothing from college at all.
Well, see, the university is trained to teach you how to work for somebody else. That's the biggest problem. Even talking about like accounting classes and stuff, right, Alex? I mean, it wasn't like how to use QuickBooks.
Right.
Like that's a class I could have used.
Right, dude.
Right? Like,
how do you run the other guy's books?
Yeah, showing me how to like actually, how did I get my lesson in QuickBooks? One, I didn't start using QuickBooks until I was like 8 months into my company, and then I was like so far behind, and I'm like, how do I keep track of whether or not I'm making any money?
Yes.
And then I hire somebody to come in and sit down with me and go through 8 months worth of data to clean up my books to make it look like a business at that point. So I had something I could look at and understand. That would have provided more value. So the university system, I think it's getting better. Because they do have classes based around entrepreneurship. But every time I go and speak to an entrepreneurship class or to a master's, people who are getting their master's in entrepreneurship, I tell them one thing: you can't get your master's in entrepreneurship unless you go start a business.
Amen to that.
That's just the truth. But I'm gonna answer the question in a different way, right? So, because there was a lot of value in my 4 years at the University of Florida, but that value was in the relationships that I established during that time. If I hadn't gone to the University of Florida, I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have met some of the people like Professor Rossi who have been featured in some of my vlogs, like professors that have had an impact that I've built relationships with, that have mentored me past my time at the University of Florida. And the value in those relationships are like far exceed any amount of education that I ever got from the university. And that's coming from a diehard Gator, because I love the University of Florida.
All right, hold on. What was the question?
What percentage of the information you learn in college are you actually using?
Right. And has the paper ever helped you?
Like, has the paper helped you? So the paper obviously never helped me.
Answer that question.
I met my wife in college too, but you didn't give them appreciate. You didn't give them.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm answering it a different way. It's like the
You're not answering
value. The value.
You're not answering it. What's the percentage?
This is why everybody thinks I should go into politics.
Right, exactly, because you danced around it nicely, dude. I'm like, oh, he just threw me under the bus. The university's like, don't ever come back, Willis.
No, it wasn't like that. I was just saying that the value that I got out of my college experience wasn't education. It was the relationships being built. The truth is, the piece of paper, the diploma, where is it?
I'm like you, dude. I don't know where mine is.
I think I framed it. It's somewhere. it has never done anything for me because I was an entrepreneur 2 months before graduating. I started the company in March of 2004, graduated in May of 2004. So the piece of paper literally did nothing for me, and the information that I learned, I would say 10% of it actually did anything for me, and that was probably Principles of Entrepreneurship, Professor Rossi's class. He's probably one of the top relationships that I built in the university system, and he's somebody who cares for his students while they're in school and then once they're well past school. So that's my answer, 10%.
That's good, you answered it. Instead of saying you met your wife in college, you actually answered it.
Well, without getting into the University of Florida, that
University of
never would
Florida,
happen.
great.
Got a good point there. Good point there.
About a club or something.
So for me, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised to hear Alex took those classes. I actually wish I'd have took business law, finance, accounting. I would have bombed all of them, but maybe something would have stuck in me to apply somewhere in what I'm doing, because I want my kids to take accounting because I want them to be able to take that conversation and bring something to that conversation when they talk to their CPAs. I'm with Collin, I'm in that 10 to 15% range, but I can't equate that to what I actually pulled out of college because they made me go through college and I had to finish. I learned how to scheme, manipulate, get through this door to actually graduate and get through these tests and these papers and these group projects. So that, I think somewhere, and I'm thinking about the deal I just completed, it was so long and so tedious and it died on the table 15 different times. I didn't know if I was going to graduate from college 4 or 5 different times. I transferred. I went to 5 different universities and transferred all those times and almost had to start over. So that resilience of having to get through it, I think helped me get through some of these deals. But the actual question you asked, what did I get out of the classroom that I'm using now, it's a very little, less than 15 or 10%.
Has a piece of paper ever helped you?
No, because I've only had one job where I worked for somebody else, and they would have hired. They were hiring people with heartbeats. So.
Are you living? Are you breathing? You're hired.
You're good. Come on in.
I hang on my own. Pop Gary B on TV. Now I'm back in my zone.